In the case of exercise 139, we're going to create a pattern for this design too. So this design has gathers follow the edge of the inset or the neckband, and dart axis or these gathers are directed to bust level. And the remaining gathers indicate one-sided edit fullness. So you need to trace this basic front bodies with a single waist dart, and please make sure to mark notch. First, we're going to draw the inset or the neckband, which is 3/4 inch wide. So you need to find several guide points from this original neckline. You need to measure 3/4 inch. And then you need to connect these points. And then we're going to draw a straight line here, which is 1/2 inch wide. And we're going to mark another notch here. So from this point, we need to measure 1 inch. So you need to use your see-through ruler or your measuring tape. And then I'm going to find the point on this side line so that I can connect this point to this notch here. So let's measure 1 3/4 inches. And then I'm going to connect this notch and this point. And then we're going to mark 2 other points here. So from this notch, I'm going to measure 3/8 inch. And from this point, I'm going to measure another 3/8 inch. And we're going to find another point here. And I'm going to measure from this point, the side point. Let's measure 7/8 inch and mark. So again, from this point, it should be 7/8 inch. And then I'm going to connect these 2 points. And then I'm going to find 2 other points here. So from this point, let's measure 1/8 inch. And the next point should be 1/8 inch from this point. So again, it should be 1/8 inch from this point, and from this point we need to measure 1/8 inch and mark. And we're going to connect all these 3 points with the start point. And we're going to draw 2 other slashes here as well. So from this notch, let's measure 3/8 inch and mark. And from this point, again, measure 3/8 inch and mark. And then we're going to find mid-armhole point. And then we're going to find the midpoint of this line. So I'm going to measure and find the midpoint. And let's connect these points. So we have drawn all the required slash lines for this working pattern. And I'm going to cut the outline of this working pattern. And then I'm going to cut this line so that I have a separate piece for this inset band and for the bodies. And before I cut these slash lines, I'd like to put cut and fold on this inset band. So please make sure to put this cut and fold symbol as well as CF center front. Okay. And then we need to cut these slash lines. So from this neckline to the outline of this pattern, but not through. Okay. So from here to the dart point, but not through the dart point. And then we need to close these dart legs. So close. And let's tape here. And place this working pattern on paper. So place this inset band here. The center front line is close to this right edge of this paper. Okay, because we're going to spread out these slash lines. So we need enough space on the left side of this paper. And I'm going to tape it. So in the case of inset band, you don't really need to tape it. You can just, hold this working pattern and trace this neckband. But in the case of bodies, make sure to tape it. So let's tape the center front. And actually there's no exact amount that how much you need to spread out these slash lines. So you need to play with these slash lines. And let's tape. So let's trace this inset band first. And don't forget to mark the notch. This is really important. And we're going to trace the bodies part. Let's blend the waistline. And now we're going to blend and draw naturally curved line here. So you need to blend the line like this. So when you draw this line, you need to place your French curve properly. So in this direction, and then I placed my ruler in this direction when I draw this part, and again switch the direction to finish the line. Okay. And before removing this working pattern, we need to mark notch. Before removing your working pattern, please label your working pattern correctly and put cotton fold and CF. And in the case of your inset band, since this is a very small size pattern piece, it's difficult to put all the labeling information. So just let's put exercise number and indicate whether it's front band or back band. So I'll put front band and indicate that it's working pattern. So you can put just working. So before removing these working patterns, take a picture and please attach this picture to your assignment template. Okay? So after removing your working patterns, you need to complete your final pattern. And you need to mark notches inside your final pattern. And you need to label your final pattern. Make sure to put cotton fold in center front as well. In the case of this inset band, you need to only put this exercise number and front band and final. But make sure to put this cotton fold and center front, CF. Okay. For this exercise, you're required to draw the back bodies as well. So please trace this basic back bodies block. And please make sure to mark these notches. And first, we're going to extend the center back line. So we're going to extend 1/2 inch. So the center back line has been extended 1/2 inch. And now we're going to draw the inset band. So same for the front, the width of this inset band should be 3/4 inch. And let's mark notches here. So you should have 2 separate pieces for the back body's final patterns. So you should have a separate piece for this back inset band and a separate piece for this back bodies. But you're not required to do that. So just please label this working pattern as your final pattern. So label this pattern as final pattern. Okay? So just keep in mind that this part, this neck band or inset band, and this body should be separated. So this is how the final pattern for your back bodies should look like. Okay. So I converted this original center back line to a grain line here as well. And when you label it, you need to put exercise number and make sure to put back bodies, not front bodies, right? And size information. And in this case, we need to put cut to, because we are going to create 2 separate pieces. And that's why we marked notches here, because we will have both sides, right? So we need to cut 2 different pieces for the back and put your name, date, and put final pattern. So again, there should be no working pattern for the back bodies. And in the case of this neck band or inset band, you need to put exercise number, back band, and indicate that it's final pattern. Okay?